With today's sudden news of Chip Kelly's departure to coach the Philadelphia Eagles, the announcement not only caught the media off guard, it also caught Oregon Athletic Director Rob Mullens by surprise. Mullens met with reporters early Wednesday afternoon to talk about Kelly's departure and the search for a new Oregon head coach.
Obviously, with the news of this morning, we've restarted our search, and we're full speed ahead to find the right fit for Oregon football. We'll move as expeditiously as possible, but we do not have a specific timeline as to when we'll be complete. Obviously, we're going to follow the appropriate policies and procedures relative to the university, and we'll maintain the confidentiality of the candidates, just as we ask them to maintain confidentiality. So we won't talk specifically about entity candidates, and then when we have an announcement, we'll present it to you.
Last time we did this a few days ago, you expressed pleasure, I guess, in the fact that you'd been kept
Sure.
in the loop the whole way. It sounds like you heard about this morning. I'm going to assume Philly didn't call Chip this morning. Do you still feel like you were kept as much in the loop as you could have been?
Well, I don't exactly know what the loop is. I know that you're exactly right. I got a call at 7:15 this morning from Chip, and that was the first I've heard of anything of Philly since we last talked about that he was staying.
So, is there any disappointment then that apparently some negotiations have been going on?
Yeah, hey, it is what it is, and we're here moving forward. We're not going to worry about what happened. He made a decision that was best for him, and we wish him well. He's been great for Oregon football, and we're moving on.
You said you were ecstatic. Are you now somewhat disappointed? What would describe your range of emotions?
Again, I've turned the page. So I was surprised when I got the call this morning. But as a leader of this organization, my focus is on moving forward, and that's exactly what we're doing. So I'm laser focused on what's next, finding the right fit to lead Oregon football.
Rob, what do you think? Rob, what is your timetable for getting this job search done?
We'll move as fast as we can, but obviously, there's various steps that we have to take. I don't have a specific timeline because these things can take different twists and turns, and I'm not going to set some arbitrary date. Obviously, we're very aware of where we are in the recruiting period, the critical nature of finding the next leader. But again, we're going to be thorough. We're going to find the right person, and we'll follow all of the policies.
Rob, 10 days ago, Chip was turning down 2 offers reportedly, and he was staying. He was your coach. What do you suppose in the last 10 days, or what did he tell you changed in the last 10 days?
The only thing our conversation was about this morning is he relayed to me that he's thought long and hard over it the last 10 days. And in fact, it was a challenge that he always wanted to take, which I think he'd shared with you and with me, and that he wasn't sure if that opportunity would present itself again. So he felt like this was the right one at the right time.
Rob, you said in the conversation earlier that Chip did meet with the team this morning at 8 o'clock. Can you share what that meeting was like and what players were in that meeting?
Well, it was an all-player workout, so I didn't take attendance, but there was a lot of folks there, so I assume everyone who's here in training was there. It was the majority of the team, if not all of the team, and he just shared with them his decision. And they're very respectful, as they always are. Everybody wants what's best for Chip, and he relayed to them as I relayed to them. This has always been about the players. This is a player-driven culture and a player-driven organization, and he expressed confidence in the future.
Rob, when you spoke this morning, was there any sense of, hey, you have a chance to counter an offer or anything like that, or has his mind had been made up?
The decision was made when he called me.
Can you relate what you'd be looking for in the next candidate? Do you want somebody that runs similar offensive style?
Well, yes. The offense has been successful, but that's not the only requirement. And what we want is someone who understands the culture. It is unique here, not only within our football program, but within our community. Want someone who has proven excellence, who's been around winning programs, who knows what it takes, because the expectations for this program have shifted. And we want to compete for Pac-12 championships, and we want to be in BCS bowls. And so we want someone who understands what that takes from A to Z, from recruiting to creating a culture of academic excellence, to understanding the role of that team in this department and in this community, and then, of course, on-field success.
AJ.
You mentioned the awareness of time of year, specifically with regards to recruiting. What steps can you take during this coaching search process to minimize any potential negative impacts on recruiting?
Well, we're fortunate to have a very veteran group of coaches, and we've had great continuity. And those coaches are all on the road, and they'll continue to stay on the road. Obviously, assistant coaches are the ones who build the relationships initially with these student athletes, and our coaches will continue to do that.
George.
Rob, when you got the phone call, I guess after last week, did you feel like this was done for the year? Did you feel like did you kind of feel settled? And then when you got the phone call, did anything cross your mind as the number popped up, like or?
When he had called me the Sunday after the Fiesta Bowl, I did think that was it, because he had been very thorough in his exploration, and he explained to me that it had been very thorough, and that he had arrived at his decision. So I thought that was the end of it. But ironically enough, someone asked me within the last couple of days, was I relieved? And I said, I'm not going to be relieved until all NFL jobs are filled. So not expecting this to happen, but in fact thinking that.
Steven.
When, in terms of looking for your next candidate, how much of it is going to be a national search and how much of it is going to be an in-house search? Obviously, Mark Helfrich's name keeps popping up in terms of that. Is he going to interview? Are other assistant coaches going to interview? What's the process going to be like?
Well, we have a number of internal candidates. I mean, we've had a staff that's been highly successful for a long period of time. So we've got several coaches on our staff who are, who have the experience and background to be head coaches. And those that express interest will obviously talk to, because they've played a key role in our success. But we will also talk to others outside of our program.
George.
You mentioned the assistant coaches and moving forward. Has there been any indication or discussion of coaches going with him, like Coach Az?
No, I mean, obviously there's speculation, but I'm not aware of anything specific yet.
Adam.
I think you talked last week too, but with all the speculation and you said Chip had obviously kept you in the loop building up to the Fiesta Bowl. I mean, do you feel like you have a head start on all this already? I mean,
Absolutely. We had already done a lot of groundwork. We had already really started the process with knowing, in fact, that Chip was going to be talking to the Eagles, Bills, and Browns while in Phoenix. So we had geared up our process. Obviously, we shut it down, but it's easy to click right back on.
Chris.
To be clear, prior to today in the conversation they had with Coach Kelly this morning, was the last time that you spoke with Coach Kelly, was that the Sunday when he informed you?
Well, no, we work in the same department, so
Right.
we talked other times, but that was the last time we had spoken about NFL. Yes.
Tom.
Rob, how concerned are you now with the continuity of the program going forward? As everyone knows, it's been it's kind of transpired over the years.
Sure.
One thing passed to the other, and how important is that to you as you make this big decision?
It's extremely important to me because it has played a key role, but it's not the only factor. So it's something, these are complex, and so there's a lot of factors, a lot of variables that will weigh in. It won't be the only one, but it's one that we will give serious consideration.
Jerry.
Yes. Were you contacted by any other head coaches from around the country interested, even when the rumors were that Chip might be leaving, and now that he is leaving? Have you had any contact today?
No, I have not had anyone. No, I have not had any head coaches contact me directly. I've gotten plenty of search firms that have contacted me.
Michael.
Rob, are you, to a much lesser degree, relieved that this is over now and it's not something you're going to have to worry about next year going forward? Because it seemed like it would be a yearly occurrence with Chip.
Yeah, I don't think in those terms. Again, if it's where Chip's heart is, if Chip's heart's in the NFL, then that's where he belongs. He's been great for the University of Oregon. I've enjoyed working with him. I have great respect for him as a person, as a coach, and my focus is on making sure that the University of Oregon gets the next great leader of the football program.
Rob Mosley.
You mentioned search firms. Do you retain one?
No.
So you guys
Not
handle
yet.
it yourselves?
Let me say not yet.
Do you plan to?
Not at this point, but again, I wouldn't rule anything out.
And do you name an interim coach?
No, we have a very veteran staff with a set organizational structure. It's very efficient, and very effective. So, we have an offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator who manage each side. If there's something that was needed in the interim that they couldn't figure out collectively, I'm sure I could offer assistance.
AJ. Last time there was a change in coaches here at University of Oregon, there was a succession plan in place. Now with the new state law, you can't necessarily do it like that, or you can't do it like that. You said you're not going to. Would you have considered that were it not for the state law saying you need to interview certain people?
The policies and procedures are what they are. So I haven't spent any time thinking about what I would do if they weren't in place. Obviously, we're going to follow them, and we are where we are, and we understand the path, and we're gonna have a clear process.
Now, Oregon offensive coordinator Mark Helfrich is said to be the leading and obvious choice to take over for Kelly. However, Mullens told reporters on Wednesday his office is going to conduct a comprehensive search for Kelly's replacement, with no timetable set on when they'll announce his successor. At the Casanova Center in Eugene, I'm Warren Williamson, Oregon Duck Football News.